In this repair video, we're going to be working on the Mercedes-Benz key that was mailed in because the lock or unlock button is not working. The first thing I want to do is test to see if in fact we have a problem with the lock unlock signal and if the key works. And we're going to do so by using this device that one of our viewers sent to us as a thank you. He's a subscriber to our channel. I wanted to mention his name, but I was not able to locate the comment that he left on one of our videos. I think the name was Web TV Fix or Web Fix TV, something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna put this device right here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to test a good known key so I can show you how this device works. Right now, if we press any one of the buttons, we can see the frequency that's being transmitted is 314.9. I noticed that's the same number for Toyota keys, Honda keys, Benz keys. I do not know if this is a standard that vehicles use, but 314.9. The number should read between 314 and 315, but it's almost always 314.9. Now, if we want to test IR, we point it on the top and we press the button and it should read 1A. Okay? Press the button, it reads 1A. The trunk button we have to press and hold in order for it to read 1A because the trunk opens when you press and hold the button. So if we press and hold, it reads 1A. So all three keys are working, lock, unlock, the trunk, and then the panic button. If we press it, it reads 1A. So all the keys are working on this good working key. The radio frequency is working, IR is working, everything is good. If we test the customer's key, and customer said he has a problem, I forgot what, I need to go back to the email. He has a problem with either the lock or unlock button. The key was sent to us without a battery, so I'm going to use the other key's battery so we can test it. Right now, I can tell when I press the button, I do not see a light. If I press the lock button, I do not see a light. Here. Lock button is working. If I press the unlock button, 0. It's not working. If I press and hold the trunk button, it works. And the panic button, it works. So the only thing that's not working on the key is the unlock button. Unlock is not working. The motherboard obviously has problems. No light on the board and the unlock button is not transmitting any signal. So let's take a look at the motherboard here. Start from the front. No liquid damage. The key looks in mint condition. Very good. Oscillator, the button, the NEC chip, another button, and right there. I see where the problem is. I do not know if you can see it, but I see 3 problems, 3 missing components. A missing component here, a missing component here, and a missing component here. These components can go missing if the person tried to pry the board out of the shell. He grabs it with like a nose plier and it points right over the components. Or maybe the person who removed the board, they went deep like this to remove the board and ended up ripping the component. Maybe the person was trying to change the batteries on his Benz key or whatever the case may be, but I do see 3 missing components. Those 3 components are not gonna just break off the board unless there's somebody that tampered with those components. That's the only thing I see wrong on this side. What about on the back side here? Perfect. Everything is mint. I can do one of the 2 things. I can either transfer the NEC chip from this key, from the customer's key, onto the donor key, or I can remove the 3 components of the donor key and put them on this board. And I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove the 3 components, the 3 missing components from the other key and put them here. If the key still does not work, then we're gonna put those components back and we're gonna transfer the chip from the customer's board onto the donor board. And as you can see, I marked the chip and the board. We always label the customer's key and the board. And this is a red marker. right here. And what I noticed also, the customer's key does not have this plastic piece that sits on the key here. This piece is important so it can align the board inside the key. It's also important so it can force the key to touch the battery pins on the back. The first thing I want to do is prep the board, add some solder onto the pads, because the way I see it, pads do not have any solder on them, or very little solder. And just a tiny bit of flux. Fume extractor. So my mom doesn't tell me I did not hear the fume extractor in your videos. She's keeping an ear on my videos to see if the fume extractor is on or not. Nobody cares about you more than your mother. Okay, so we added 6 solder blobs, and now we're going to use our hot tweezers to remove the components from the donor key onto the customer's key. So let's start with this component here. And of course we need to turn on our hot tweezers. Oh, look at the tweezer. Probably fell down and got bent. What can you do? This one is not good. And right over here. Very good. Let's do the other one. And let's do one more. Where's the missing one? It's right under the button here, right there. Right under the button. Very good. I'm just gonna touch up with our soldering iron. Add a little bit of flux and just do one final touch up, and then we can test the key to make sure it's working. And finally this one here. And the job is done. Let's clean up. And dry clean. Now we can do a quick measurement with our multimeter to make sure the components are making a good connection. So meter in continuity mode, and let's do this. Let's test from here to right here, and good. From here to here. Good. These two should be touching, and they are. This one here has a wire that's going all the way here, and this part here has a wire that's going all the way to here. So let's put our probe here. And yes, the components are making a good connection. All we need to do is test and make sure this is the customer's key right here with the label, red marking. Put it inside the enclosure. And as you can see, I cannot tell which is the customer's and which is not, but I did put a label here. It doesn't really matter which one is the customer's, but I would like to send the one that the customer sent over, because sometimes you send the customer something and they tell you, mine used to have something on the edge. Why doesn't it have it now? Even though those two shells are the same and ours is even better. But we still send the customer's shell and we have it marked. I always mark whatever I'm working on so we do not confuse it, especially when we are working with donors. Let's go ahead and test. And yes, we have a light. I do not know if you can see it. We do have a light. That's a good sign that the key is working, because we did not get a light before. Right now, if we test, yes, unlock button is working. The lock button is working. Trunk button is working. And the panic button is working. Awesome. Let's test from the top here. 1A, very good. 1A, very good. Test the third button, which is the trunk. I need to press and hold. Yes, 1A. And finally, the panic button. And it tested good. Awesome. So the key is working now. We're gonna ship it back to the customer. I already invoiced the customer and he made a payment, so we're gonna ship it back to him today. My dad is doing all the packaging outside. He's probably getting some boxes, yeah, right there. So he is doing the packaging. We're not taking customers inside the shop. If you look at the surveillance, we have some boxes in the front and I have computers on the front. I have a couple of iMacs and a person who dropped in a custom computer. So I told the person to leave the stuff to their left. Half the gate is closed. So when a customer comes in, I tell them, do not come in, stay outside. Just put your computer here to the left. And from where my dad is standing, I take their information, name, phone number, email, whatever the case may be. And I tell them to leave, I'll call them. So I do not want to take any risks, not because I care about myself, but I care about my family, my elders. If I have the virus, maybe it's not going to matter much. It's going to be more like a flu. But if I pass the virus on to elders, that's going to be a big problem. So better safe than sorry. And I'm not allowing anybody to come into the shop. Whatever packages I get in, I disinfect them with the 409 solution. I've had this in the shop for a long time, and we always use it, not at the time of the corona, but we've always used this. So anything that comes into the shop, I disinfect it. And I even disinfect my gloves. So I put some disinfectant on the gloves and I just stay safe. So that's it for this video. We have a lot of other things to get done. I'm trying to catch up and now is a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions and we'll do something else in the next video.